Hey there. If you clicked on this video, chances are you're still struggling with English. And I don't want you wasting your time on a bunch of stuff and tips that don't work or just slow you down. So here are 11 mistakes you should avoid if you want to get fluent in English faster. 1. Obsessing over your English level. I'm B2, I'm C1, I'm C2. Look, your level might be B2. You understand TV shows, you're good at writing, but you freeze in casual conversations. Or maybe you're C1, you're decent at speaking, but struggle with grammar and pronunciation. Your level depends on your skills, not on a test result. And chasing these levels can mess with your head. You start comparing yourself to others, feel frustrated because a test said you're B1, but you thought you were freaking H4 or something. If you really want to know your English level, look at your actual skills, at what you can do. Ask yourself, can I explain my job in English? Can I hold a conversation about anything? Can I understand 90% of a YouTube video without subtitles? So focus on speaking fluently, improving your pronunciation, comprehension, and not on, oh, I want to be a C57 prime level wizard of English. 2. Learning English from people who can't actually speak it. These days, when everyone's making content, everyone's trying to sell you something, there are a lot of creators, teachers out there who barely speak any English. They have a heavy accent, you can't get a word they're saying, but they already make videos and sell courses. So you gotta pay attention to who you learn from. If someone's English is hard to understand, their pronunciation is off, or all they teach is grammar and theory, that's a red flag. If you don't want to sound like them, why would you learn from them, right? You want input from native speakers or fluent speakers who use English every single day and can give you practical advice, like I do. 3. Focusing too much on theory. Instead of spending all your time on all the theoretical aspects of English, it's way more effective to just speak it regularly and listen to it as much as possible. Sure, some theory is important and useful, but that should be 20% of the formula. The other 80% should be practice. Someone who uses English daily and puts into practice the little knowledge they have will always learn faster and beat someone who just memorizes a lot of rules and does fill-in-the-blank tests. You don't want to be like, oh, I spend 5 hours a day studying English, I know all the grammar rules, present perfect continuous indicates an action that starts. Shut up. Just shut up. 4. Trying to learn British and American English at once. I've heard people using both accents at the same time. I don't know if they do it on purpose or not, but they say a sentence where 3 words are in American English and the other 4 are in British. That sounds weird and confusing. So my advice to you is don't mix them. Better pick one, whichever you like more or plan to use more. People usually choose American because it's more popular and it's easier in my opinion, but it could be any of them. It doesn't matter. It could be British or even Australian English if you want. So just pick one and stick with it. Then practice that pronunciation, that accent, and you'll sound way better than someone trying to learn multiple accents at once. 5. Using only language learning apps. Duolingo alone won't make you fluent. All these apps are just some tools to help you improve, but they won't make you fluent. You need real input and real practice. I also used Duolingo when I started, and I even passed all the levels. And yeah, it helped. It gave me some basic knowledge. I learned some new words, but I only became fluent when I started using English in my life. Communicate, read, listen, etc. 6. Worrying about slang too early. You want to speak like a rapper? Some of you try to learn too much street slang, swear words, because you want to sound real and cool. But the thing is, most beginners use it wrong, overuse it often. Like when they talk, every other word is a cuss word, and that makes them sound very awkward. I think you have to learn common casual English first, stuff that people actually use daily, and then focus on slang, swear words, and other advanced stuff. 7. Regularly using English tests. All those grammar tests and what's your English level quizzes, honestly, I'm not a fan. If your goal is to speak, understand, and use English in your life, for work, travel, online content, then you don't need them. Why? Because these tests often emphasize correctness over fluency, reward passive knowledge over active usage, like talking, writing freely, or listening. Fluency isn't about scoring 90% on some test with fill-in-the-blank questions. So unless you're preparing for an exam or a job application, Just ignore these kind of tests. 8. Having huge vocabulary lists. Many learners are a bit too obsessed with memorizing new words. They've got big vocabulary lists. I did that as well. At some point, I was adding in my notes every new random word I heard. And I had a list of a few hundred words, and guess what? I didn't memorize even 10% of them. So what I found very effective for me was just these two things. Always learn new words in context and keep it simple. Learn only 2-3 words a day, not more. That's it. Now one more important thing. When it comes to improving your vocabulary, it helps a lot to consume content, especially based on your interests, hobbies, because this way you will naturally learn new vocab. Nowadays they call it comprehensible input. I recently found out about it. Sounds fancy, huh? Sounds like you're smart when you say it. Comprehensible input. So I know you've got a 700-word vocab list sitting in your notes app. You thought I'd never find out? So naive. Delete it right now. 9. Waiting to feel ready before speaking. Spoiler alert, you'll never feel ready. You usually come up with all these kinds of excuses like, my English is not good enough to speak. I don't know enough words. When in fact, you're just afraid to talk in a foreign language. And that's normal. But the thing is, most of you underestimate yourself. You already know enough to start simple conversations. I believe starting to speak English early, even with mistakes, helps you learn much faster. You know, someone who, let's say, didn't study grammar, knows only 500 words, but they practice speaking often, they have this experience of communicating with others in English, will be significantly better and more confident than someone who, let's say, knows 2,000 words, but has little experience in talking in this language. 10. Always apologizing for your English. Saying my English is bad, apologizing every time you make a mistake, is absolutely unnecessary and it's annoying. Look, even if you make lots of mistakes and it seems like your English is broken, you are talking in this language. And that's great, that's already progress. So the next time you get asked, can you speak English? Say yes. Or if you're not that confident, you can say a little. And just focus on talking. Don't say sorry for every single mistake you make. Don't emphasize on how bad your English is. Take every interaction, every conversation as an opportunity to get better at speaking English. 11. Using outdated learning materials. Look, books from 2001 don't work no more. I think learning English often is approached like you're preparing for an exam. Nah, forget about any boring textbooks full of stuff you'll never use. You need modern content, YouTube, movies, video games, podcasts. There's so much stuff out there to learn from. And honestly, who learns a new language from books and dictionaries nowadays? It's 2025, hello. Alright, that's it. If this video helped you at least a little bit, then you'll definitely like this one about another 14 mistakes that slow your progress. See you there. Come on, man, where's that button?